lá no Brasil é muito complicado, são muitos times bons, tanto que cada ano acaba mudando os times que vão para o Mundial e tal, porque a região é muito forte, então é muito complicado jogar lá e jogar contra o Fluxo também, que é o melhor time do mundo atualmente, mas dessa vez a gente conseguiu sair campeão.
E vem, ó, pra cima, como tem que ser, a direção é o passo do Marquinhos, já semana...
É saber que o título do Michelob é mundial, sabe? Porque a gente já ganhou bastante, ganhou de tudo já. Campeonato brasileiro, continental, a única coisa que tá faltando mesmo é o mundial. Então a gente vem bastante motivado pra ganhar esse ano, se Deus quiser. Então pra se provar, a gente tem que ser campeão aqui e vai ser dessa vez.
There's a reason why loss is being highlighted, and it is because not only are they champions looking down upon their own region, but also potential champions here at EWC 25. And just seeing their first play day yesterday for day 2, they looked so good, so on point. The chemistry was there, and I think the question we now have is, are they really world champion material? I think they're really close. Raja, I'm pretty sure you're more familiar with Loss than the rest of us on the panel. What is it that Loss does that makes them such a high quality team?
Well, I saw an interview and I also wrote it down here. I will say like the general words. Well, he'd say that they are really confident with the players' individual skills because they already have like one of the top 3 rushes, rushes from Brazil. But when they need, they know how to play safe. So I mean, they can adapt in every type of play style. So they can even beat Asian teams. And they are not even used to it because, well, they do not play that much against Asian teams, but they also can do it. So I think they are really capable of, getting the trophy.
Speaking of some of these teams now, I mean, if they're coming in looking confident, that's when I get worried. Adjustments are going to be made, but more importantly, being stubborn also has its perks, right? It means that other teams must adjust around you rather than, hey, we got to figure things out.
Yeah, back to Loss. I mean, from last year, 3 of the players are returnees in EWC. So I guess this is redemption for them. They were almost in there. They were almost in there. If it wasn't for Team Falcons, they could have grabbed that championship. So this is probably one reason why they studied Southeast Asian and the other teams as well, and they're doing so well.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, if we can, we would love to see the total rankings one more time before the match begins, because I think everyone wants to know where is everyone currently standing on that leaderboard. Because Neptune, on the way to the venue, we had a really interesting discussion, right? The odds of teams making it to top 12. Now, run us through the numbers. Who do you think is most likely to make it through, and who may just make the cut?
Yeah, I mean, just running through basic calculations first, if we look at the teams from ANC, double their scores, and it's only Virtus Pro who might be able to go and take over against Alpha 34, who's currently the bottom of Group B. But there's still also some risk for Hotshots right now, because once I did some simulation, Hotshots was just ending in there on the top 12, and it's a potential that he can be thrown out. They can be thrown out of that top 12 spot. But for the rest of the teams, 3 simulations has been done. The result's always the same unless they really bump it up for this day.
Yeah, so it seems very top heavy for teams in Group B. Well, we're going to have to see what happens there. But one thing we do know is that we have an interview lined up with Buriram. So let's see what Buriram have to say before they kick off their first match today.
Hi everyone, it's Kyungso and welcome to our interview with Buriram United Esports from Thailand. Hello everyone. So yesterday you guys already have yourself a first booyah, but after that everything seems to be very slow down. It's still like flick off. What happened?
ก็เมื่อวานนะครับเราได้บูย่าไปแล้ว1 รอบแต่ว่าหลังจากนั้นเนี่ยรู้สึกว่าแบบทุกอย่างคือแบบดูช้าลงไปหมดเลยดูเหมือนเป็นขาลงหน่อยๆนึงไม่ทราบว่าเกิดอะไรขึ้นบ้างครับ
ก็ ผิดพลาดตอนแบบว่ามูฟนิดหน่อยครับมูฟเข้าวงอย่างเงี้ยครับผิดพลาดกันเล็กๆน้อยๆก็ไปปรับปรุงก็แก้ไขมาครับวันนี้ทำไม่ดีครับ
So I think it's kind of like butterfly effect because after we got the first booyah, we have made such a small mistake over and over again. For example, like we are moving into the last circle like a bit too slow, so everything went down from that point.
Alright, I understand. So yesterday it's just a little small mistake, but I think today Buriram will come back stronger. So what is your goal today and what are you expecting the most for today's match?
ก็วันนี้คิดว่าจะเป็นยังไงบ้างครับ แล้วก็เราเตรียมพร้อมยังไงมาบ้างครับ
ก็ถ้าเตรียมพร้อมก็เราก็ได้การซ้อมข้อที่ผิดพลาดอย่างหนักครับแล้วก็วันนี้เราก็น่าจะทำเต็มที่น่าจะผลงานน่าจะออกมาดีครับ
So we will try our best on in today matches. So after yesterday match, we went back and like keep looking into one by one of our small mistakes that happened during the games, and hopefully we already fix all of them, and let's see what's gonna happen in today's game.
I think today's Buriram is gonna be okay, like usual. They are king of Booyah, so they're gonna make it into the quarter stage and of course the grand finals. Alright, okay, so how do we say fighting in Thai?
สู้
Okay ค่ะสู้ๆนะบุรีรัมย์
So to Buriram fans out there who might be a little concerned after their performance yesterday, they're not moved, they're not shaken, but they do understand what happened yesterday. So it was quite surprising, according to them. They made a couple of mistakes, and that was really why they fell out of the grouping. I think originally we kind of thought it was just a grouping incompatibility. They just couldn't play their game.
I don't know about the mistakes, but it seems like they don't want to take the lead in the knockout stage. They don't want to show all their cards yet because they're preparing it for Point Rush as well as Grand Finals.
Yeah, and I think for the most part of it, even though it's small mistakes, it's only still 60 amount of points is still pretty good. It still puts them in contention and definitely for a position for top 12.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge on these teams. It looks like we are basically ready to go here for match number 1 between groups A and C. Teams in Group B, they can only look on and watch and hope that they've earned enough in their previous matches. But I think we're ready to fly on over to the main stage. Survivors, let's head on over to game number 1.
Gue cukup seneng banget ada di Arab sini karena ini impian gue sebelumnya bareng tim gue juga. Season lalu kita cuma jadi penonton dan sekarang kita akhirnya bisa jadi pemain di sini.
รู้สึกดีครับตื่นเต้นก็เป็นความฝันด้วยที่มาแข่งรายการใหญ่ๆครับ
Tu nunca ter desistido, o teu jogo faz muito tempo já, e ter continuado tentando, mesmo fracassando, seguindo em frente, erguendo a cabeça, valeu a pena ter chegado aqui.
Latihan mungkin ya, latihannya lebih keras lah ditambah terus kayak saling percaya satu sama lain, saling nguatin lah satu sama lain. Yangมีครับยังไม่ได้ใช้แผนหมดครับtentang semua tim di sini ya pastinya jago-jago lah ya. Ibaratkan kayak ya ini udah masuk World Champion, pasti semua di sini yang terbaik lah.
No Brasil já são times fortes lá, mas aqui é um nível completamente diferente. Cada erro, por mínimo que seja, custa muito caro aqui.
รู้สึกว่าปลดล็อกอะไรหลายๆอย่างครับปลดล็อกหลายอย่างเลยสไตล์การเล่นเราด้วยวิธีไฟท์ทีม
A cada queda tentando jogar como se fosse a última e tentando o melhor resultado.
ที่เราได้บูย่ามาแล้วเจอกันต่อรอบชิงครับ
ก็ปล่อยผมเข้ารอบชิงเถอะเชื่อมั่นในตัวผมครับเดี๋ยวผมพาชูด้วยครับ
sampai bertemu di final nanti พวกเราจะเอาแชมป์กลับประเทศไทย
welcome. It's time to get day 3 of knockout stage is started. Group B wrapped it up yesterday, and what a show it was, huh? Asian teams are leading strong, but Brazil, Latin, and MENA are fighting really hard too. Today, it all ends, my friends. 12 teams will rise and move on to Point Rush on the road to the grand finals. Stay with us. Feel every second. This is where Free Fire history is made. And now, let's meet the teams who will take the stage today and fight to leave their mark on the Esports World Cup. First up is Vision System! RRQ! Los! Virus Pro! Red Hawks! Onyx! Warrior United! All Gamers Global! Movie Star R7! Dragons! Bird Gaming! The one and only Team Falcons! What an entrance! The Kitia Esports Arena is open. And now Free Fire squads have entered the battleground. Each one of them here are chasing glory. Each one are ready to survive the storm. But before we drop into the action, let's take a little trip into the wild. One of our brave reporters has been out in the field tracking rare creatures, the Free Fire pro play. This one you know. The rituals, the movements, the natural habitats. Let's go now into the wild. The world of EWC Deadliest Hunters. Let's go.
Akadaya, mate, it's me here, Admat, the Play Hunter. We are now right here in Riyadh Boulevard, Ross City for Esports World Cup 2025. And I'm here to try to find out what does our pro player doing here in Boulevard. It seems that I'm lost. Can't seem to find anyone here. Could we find a pro player here to see what they're doing? Where are they? I still can't see them. I think the map's broken. Maybe here? Oh, crikey. Spots a few pro players walking. Not few. It looks like they are entering some sort of an arena. I think we should go. Let's go. Let's find out what are they doing. Mate, we are now right here in some sort of arena. It called itself as STC Gaming Arena, but I'm not so sure. And it looks like I have spotted a few pro players doing some sort of ritual. I do not dare to get close. Crikey, look at that. They are trying to get the luck from the previous team that has won before. Such an amazing behavior. Nothing like that have we been seeing. They're trying to pull all the luck here from the previous winner. Hey, oh my God, it looks like they are going away. Come, let's go. Let's go, Hunter. Go. Crikey, that was so good.
Hello, guys. Hello, I'm Map. Hello. It's a map for the pick. I know. I player. Oh, you're player? Yeah. Thank you. Robert.
Alright, we're gonna catch up towards the pro player. It looks like they have to the vicinity. Oh, stop. Oh, crikey. They're angry. No, they're not. They're just doing their final bow for luck. And it looks like they are going somewhere else. Let's go. We don't miss it. Let's go. We're almost lost it. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Okay, it's fine. Oh, it looks like they added another one. Now there's 3. What a weird behavior. I think this is the continuous chanting for good luck. Mate, this is something I don't see every day. Oh, crikey, it looks like they have done their ritual. They have went back to their habitat. And that it's all here at Boulevard EWC 225. I'll see you guys later. Danger.
Welcome to the Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 25 knockout stage, day number 3, where nothing is granted, everything is earned. You're here to start the show with me, Husky, and the Mustachio AJ. 6 more rounds between Group A and Group C, and until then, we'll find out which 12 teams will make it to Point Rush and eventually the grand finals.
Everything is earned, in some case stolen. That's exactly what we want to tune into today. Group B, unfortunately, they have laid their chances to rest. 12 games in total. They've pulled away whatever they can pull from the competition. Alpha 34, it doesn't take a genius to figure out they are definitely not going to be at Point Rush. But the question still is in the balance. Hot shots from Pakistan. Will they make it? 87 points. That's not too much, Husky.
Yeah, it's not too much, but they ended yesterday in 7th spot.
Yeah.
That's a spot higher than what we wanted from them. We wanted them to just be in top 8, and they did, and they went one step above. And like you said, the question is, can they still survive today? We still need 5 more teams at least to not make it. Alpha 34, they did their best to drag Hotshot Esports down, and let's see if that has paid off.
Of course, there were some questions in the air. Will Fluxo make it? 106 points in total. Obviously, it's not the most up there at the top of the leaderboard. Fun fact, last year they got 102 points and they scraped through at the 12th spot. So it's a little bit better. But either way, it looks like they are going to be making it through. Of course, it's going to take a mountain of effort from any of the teams currently in the bottom 6 to oust Fluxo from their 4th spot. 106 points is quite tough to reach, because if you look at Virtus Pro, down in the 13th place, they've only got 52 points, so quite a journey for them to climb up. And we got to also remember, they're going up against the other teams from Group A and C. Obviously, they're going to be picking up those points as well, so it's not as straightforward. Every single game, these teams need to be in the final circle. Speaking of final circle, Red Hawks, if they want to stand a chance, they need to be in every single final circle with a minimum of 5 to 7 eliminations. And dude, that's tough, man. They only performed for 3 games on their first day of play.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how brutal this format is. You only get 2 play days in the knockout stage. Every single round that you kind of give away to your opponents, you need to make up for it twice as hard. And I think for Red Hawks, I agree with the calculation. We kind of went over the numbers behind the scenes, but I gotta add another caveat today. I think a booyah is necessary for Red Hawks, right? Just in case, just as insurance policy, as we head into game number 1. Again, the final 6 rounds before we find out which 12 teams will make it through. We're heading over to Bermuda once more, and for fans out there, you can rest assured that this flight path is very, very generous, straight down the middle.
Absolutely, and of course it's going to be fair and easy. EVOS Esports, though, they're the group stage leaders with 154 points at the very top. Everybody thought it was going to be Core Memory sticking it at the very top, but of course beating them with those 4 points, and Rasia definitely faced it with a huge smile on his face. The majority of the eliminations pulled away by the Wonder Kid, and this was that fair flight path that we were talking about. Peak totally conquered by Buriram alone, and Dragon splitting up very early in the game. I don't feel good about this.
You know what I don't feel good about as well, AJ? VP and Red Hawks. They both just dropped in the same spot, and we see very early gunfights, and this is gonna be very bad for Red Hawks if they don't make out of this alive. Ideally, if you can somehow beat VP, that would be great. We've seen Red Hawks pull off Miracle in the earlier rounds in day 1, but that's a day 1 thing, right? That's the thing, that's the unknown. But right now, I think VP have studied Red Hawks. They need to somehow make this work.
And of course, if the Bangladeshi players want to stand a chance here, they have to play the reversal here however possible. Plasma gun in the hands of Flicker. Shot up from up top. Great rotation by Fawara. Has got the AUG in hand. Great range on the gun, and Flicker does not want to challenge him. But now all the players all together down on the ground. Fawara with his head sticking out. This is danger zone, but he's managing the situation well.
Yeah. With very limited resources to work with, these movements are a lot more important. So Red Hawks go into a 3-1 split. They leave Flicker on the flank. Same as the Virtus Pro, who have the same idea. So if whoever can catch the flanker first is going to come out on top. We see Diamond already going on the hunt. VP changing from 3-1 to a 2-2 split. Kutun will make first contact. Good damage being dealt. Fawara getting down by Blade. And now Red Hawks spring into action. Nameless also goes down. A trade comes from the side of Diamond, but VP are losing numbers.
Beautifully played. The revival comes through in the nick of time by Diamond. And he's going to get sprayed down. What a save coming on through. X40's there with the double vectors as well. Great rate of fire. Damage not too much. But Red Hawks has got this in their pockets. 3 players taken out of the equation already. 1 more. Playing his chances up against 2. The M590 and the MP5. Exposi. Riptide Rhythm to break down their defenses, but that's just asking for trouble early. Kutush finds the knock. And Virtus Pro off on the back foot, and Red Hawks picking up a very, very, very important win here at the start of this game.
Feels like deja vu from game number 1. Blade drops back in just in time to loot the rewards, the bounty that the rest of his teammates have laid down on the floor alongside the corpses of the Virtus Pro players. And I gotta say, Nurjat saved that fight because the rest of his teammates were down and Nurjat clutched it. Thankfully for VP, someone was revived. The run continues for the Polar Bears, but it's not gonna get any easier. Same can be said for Vision System because Lost has to be in the process.
Yeah, Vision System needs a miracle to qualify for Point Rush today, but they go up against one of the most dangerous teams out there in Brazil, and I dare say in the competition. But they are mowing them down. Unbelievable stuff. Rigby 245. Final player in here, round 1 picked up right quickly. And Vision System could not go in for the final blow, but they still outnumber the players of Lost. Only for the next few seconds. Rigby has got enough money to buy back his 2 other team members. But Vision System, timing is key here. And the guy that just got picked up mowed them down instantaneously. Lost with the instant recovery. M590 ain't enough for you, boy. Rigby with the MP40 should be able to make quick work of Andres.
And suddenly, in a blink of an eye, Vision System Andres is forced to run away. He does have enough coins to get a revive, a ring around Rosie. And he do this fast enough before they clear him out in round corner. And there is just not enough time. Vision System, they fall in the hands of Lost, and off screen, Virtus Pro gets wiped out.
Man had enough time to buy back the whole world. But a misclick for sure. Not even a single revival, and Vision System out. They were already at the very bottom of the leaderboard. I guess that is exactly where they will stay. Unfortunate for them, but what a start, and holy hell, what a recovery from Lost.
Yeah, recovery from Lost and Red Hawks, right? Both teams were at the back foot in their respective 4v4s, and both of them recovered. This is the start we expected from Lost, but this is the start we wanted for Red Hawks.
Oh yeah.
That difference, that contrast is what's going to make this a lot more interesting with how Red Hawks are rotating right now at Shipyard, but south of them, it's going to be Team Falcons and and Movie Star R7. That is going to be a challenge.
Ami Tomake Malubashi Bangladesh. This is exactly what we need out of the squad. But here comes another deadly predator up in the air. Falcons, they want to fight. Question is, does Red Hawks have enough in their arsenal to shut them down? Dragons, on the other hand, up against Buriram earlier on. And it looks like it was deadly snipes all around for Moshi, knocking down player after player after player, picking up those crucial points for Buriram.
Thanks for this, Dragon Esports are still in this, but I'm not really sure about the state of Red Hawks though. Falcons, they are very aggressive. You're not ready, they're gonna tear you apart into pieces. It's gonna be the case for the side of Red Hawks. Kutush also goes down, and suddenly Red Hawks have been sliced in half. But Movie Star R7, they hear the gunshots, they are here to fight the Falcons.
Well, two can play at that game, says Movistar R7. They want to be the movie stars here as well. One deadly predator out of the skies. Joker, BSK in hand. Great range for the gun, but fails to find any connection on those shots. They've got the players of Falcons flanked already. Peter, unfortunately for him, does not find any tags under the player up top, but here comes SWAT, and he is the clutch king of R7. Will he get the shot in? Games King, M590 in hand. Unfortunately, it is their own player that gets knocked down to the ground, and Falcon standing their ground.
Kororo just now broke his ankles, but they brought him back up. See the rotation from Della. Star player from yesterday, Joker, finally pulls the trigger, and that's on fire down. Games King actually got Peter as well. Two members of Falcons down, but they need the confirmation, and they get it. Kororo now hightails out of there. Hides behind the building. It's him and Limit and a lot of members of Movie Star